Except the one that you mentioned. I didn't mention it because of
Hey everyone, I would like to welcome you all, and I will grab this chance to thank Mr. Enrique and Mr. Sebastian for giving us this great chance of learning from the others' mistakes so we can improve our programs and all. And it was really very nice experience for me and my group. We have learned a lot from the others' group's mistakes. So before we get our feedback on this group, we get it already from the others' people's mistakes. So we learn a lot, and it's very great chance for us from learning from this experience. And in second place,
we need names again.
yeah, I will represent.
Names,
Yeah,
I don't know if everybody else
I will represent my groups. I will start myself, Ramadan Saleh, my friends Masresha, and Enrique is the group leader. And we are group 7. We're talking about, I think, group 6. And we'll start from we have different style than the others, and luckily they help us because their program, they didn't send for us the codes, as I mentioned. We faced the problems for receiving their codes programs in our Word style so we can test it. They sent us the form of the programs in image file, which is difficult to put it in there and test it. And that was a really big problem for us until 8 o'clock last night. We didn't get it, but later, 10 o'clock at night, they sent to us, and it was very late for us to run the test and come in here and do it. So we faced a problems at evaluating their programs in the running modes. So this was the format they sent us, and it was image, so it's very hard to test. So we have done our test based on looking at their codings and we just see how it will be working because we have done this. So actually from the first, and this is the outline of the evaluation, first of all the description of the assignment, and it was like, the games was about wanted, and assumes to be like there is murder committed, and the user has to assume who's the murderer according given facts, which is 3. I think 3 different indicators, which is the gender, which is old man, old woman, young woman, and the color, and the weapons, the crimes weapon. So this was the game descriptions, and initially the program assumed that the murder has been committed. The player is expected to guess who the murderer is based on the given facts which I mentioned. 3 persons given in the games, which is murder, suspects, and innocent. Each person is described with 3 attributes, age, genders, tools, and colors. And the description of the user interface, as we have mentioned, we have looked at it in the papers, and we assume that it has a positive things like, okay, this is descriptive, they have select a person, guess murders, reply, this is how the interface look like after you run it. But we didn't run it, because we expect that it will be this, after you type this code, you will receive these sequences of in the game's interface. And the comments we gave, it's like the program seems to have interactives and easy to use interface, which we have seen based on the paper. Some travelers among menu options is incorrect, as we have seen in the paper, and I think he showed you a little bit of the image code. If you can go back, can you go back to the image so you can in this, when you travel among this, the predicates, you see some of it is incorrect, placed incorrectly. And so that's why I think their program doesn't run, as you mentioned. Because they mentioned the program doesn't run because there is incorrect placing of predicates. And for this part of the coding, I will pass it to my group leader so he can explain more on this part. Thank you.
Right. Okay, so in the program code, we found some strengths that, although in the code there's no commented lines or that things, we think that the predicate name seems to be descriptive, like the name of the predicates can give you an idea what's supposed to do that predicate. And the program is well divided in subparts and good manageable. And the program also seems to handle incorrect inputs. We haven't tested, but we think that you have a part when you are handling incorrect inputs, so we think it could work. And we don't have drawbacks, we don't have documentations. Some predicates seems to be like repetitive, maybe unnecessary, that maybe we can take it out. And the program, the point is that here the program's efficiencies need to be improved. We are going to show maybe some ways that could be improved your program. It's a little difficult to read the text, but we have. Go back. Okay, done. We have in the program, we have in several parts of the code that they have defined as facts, age, gender, color, or weapon. Like in 5 another predicates, they use the same. They are defined as facts, again, age, gender, color, or weapon in several parts. So we think that they can make a predicate and just declare it once and use another predicate to control this. Like, for example, we can create a predicate called create list that is going to include all of this, and you only have to call the predicate and don't put as facts again. Okay. We don't understand what's the purpose of this here of this empty list. I think it could be removed of all the subparts, and I think the program it will work okay. But I don't know if you can explain me the purpose of this. Okay. And in several parts of your program, you have I think we can take out some unnecessary lines. Like for example, for check the murder, for check guess if it's correct, if matched to the murder, the guest list. You are putting, for example, the first attribute needs to be equal to the first to the second list, and like this. But if we are putting here the same variables to the other list, we don't need to validate everyone. I think it could be take it out and it will work properly. And same as here for check every guess that we input, you have like 10 predicates for check if it's innocent or no. It's the same like other is for check if it's wrong or it's right. The guess we can resume like this fact. I think it could be better that put several parts. You can do it in one step just.
So they should use or instead of and.
Yes.
To limit the number of
they
clauses.
they use and many
Yeah.
many predicates we can use only or and do it in one small sentence. And here is the last part. when they are checking if the guest list that we have compared with the first one, if it's innocent or if it's suspect the guest, they are doing many steps. We only put a few of them, but we can do it in a short statement like this. We can use if every attribute of the list is not equal to the second attribute to the guest list, so the person is innocent. And if just one, using or again, just one is equal to the other attribute of the second list, we can put that is suspect instead of do many steps.
Thank you, Rick. And I'm going to present the evaluation of the test result and evaluation of their documentation. Since we didn't find any course, we are not able to test it and report whether their program works properly or not. Moreover, they do not include any test results in their documentation, so I cannot say more than this on their test documentation. Regarding the evaluation of the documents, there are few things that I can say, including the strong points and their weakness. The documentation has some appropriate pointers or sections like programming manual and other sections. And the documentation, the program structure is well presented using data flow diagrams, so everybody can understand what's next, and the input and the output can easily be, or the flow sequence of the program can easily be understood using this flowchart. This can be mentioned as the strengths of their document. And with regard to the weak points, the task of the predicates and the description of the input and output is not totally included in their documentation. With regard to programming manual, it is well presented, but the description of the user manual, project plans, and such stuffs are not included, so they should be incorporated in this documentation. These stuffs, user manual, test results are not included. So the documentation generally is good, and the programs, as we read it and trace it on paper, it has good logically, anybody can logically follow and trace it. It's somehow easy for us. That's all what we have. Thank you for your attention and for your patience.
So, do you want to say something
No,
in the comments?
we haven't finished it, so I think they are right.
So if you can't run it, you can still run it.
Well, we can, but it's not giving it does not give the right result, the required result. So we need to work further.
Yeah. So do you need some extra supervising, or is it only?
Yes, we will do it, inshallah. And we will discuss it with Sebastian.
Yeah. I think that's fine. And also you get some clues now how you could,
Yes.
cut down the code,
Yes.
because I think it will be much too much. So that is more complicated, and it's easy to get stuff that is wrong.
Really great presentation. I think it was by far the best presentation today. And I'm impressed with how much time and effort you put into examining the code and really helping the group with the suggestions and predicates and so on. So I think it's really great, and especially when we got it in the text format. So it's really good.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And I would like to agree, because you had PowerPoints with text that was enough. Many of you had too much text on your PowerPoints. You're supposed to have very short stuff on the PowerPoints and then talk about it, because you can't listen and read at the same time. So Matthias is quite correct here that it was not only the presentation, it was also the PowerPoints that worked very well. Don't you agree? Yeah, so they yeah, thank you. Have everybody, I don't think I got the opposition from everybody, but you send it to me